Okay, here we are, fresh back from Sand Hollow for a full-size invasion. We went out there for basically Halloween, me and Ryan. Chad, appreciate Chad. Thanks for coming by with us, buddy, and doing the video. Hopefully you guys will be seeing that video here pretty soon because I just am having my UA videos done. Thanks, Samuel, for all your hard work. Man, there's so much footage to go through. He's working on it as we speak. So as you know, Ryan took Louis Viten to Sand Hollow, and this thing, this is Caleb's Off-Road and Fabrication. If you guys are into building cool rigs, having a good time and wheeling, stick around. Honestly, it killed it in every aspect, and Dave did an awesome job on the truck. I mean, the bones of it, I think, are just astronomically good. It works really well. It's smooth. This is no lie, guys. When we picked this up and we drove it back from Washington, we drove it, I don't know, 1,600 miles, something like that. It was a long couple of days of driving. This thing drives better than stock with these coilovers and this suspension that he made and put on this. It works awesome. So, Dave, thank you again for all of your hard work on this thing. It turned out really good. So my long-term goal for this truck and what I've been talking about ever since I got it and wheeled it the first time in Idaho when we were coming back was I wanted to shorten this bed down. So the problem that this thing has, which this is a full-size problem, is the spot that you have behind the axle when you're coming down obstacles always hits on everything. I don't know why, but it's just one of those things. When they come down, bam, it hits the ground. So my buddy Trask has the F350 from UA. You know what I'm talking about. It just drags over everything. So Dave made this bar that goes all the way around, and it basically is a skid plate on the bottom if you look all the way to the frame. So it works, but I just, you guys can see this is actually some West Virginia wheeling action from when Dave took it on UA in 23. Also up here. So body panels, guys, just don't live very long. And let's be honest, there's a lot of real estate back here in the back of this bed. So one thing that's really cool that Dave did was he integrated the long arm suspension and with the coilovers into the frame and built up brackets off of the frame. So we don't have to worry about taking this bed off and losing bracketry. So we'll be able to pull this bed off and it'll be, I think, pretty easy, and then it'll be a wide open canvas to build what I want to do. So my long-term goal is to build a bed for it and tie into the cage that's actually inside the cab that Dave made, and then also cut off in the back here, guys, cut off this back part right behind the cab, build the bed, cut it off right behind the axle. And that way, whenever you're coming down, off and up obstacles, down obstacles, you're not dragging, hitting this thing. So I'm also probably, while we're here, I'm gonna redesign these. I don't know, Ryan probably has more feeling about the wheeling part of these, but I feel like these are just a little bit too far out. I want them to be a little bit farther tucked in, and the reason why is because this truck is still a full size and it's already super wide. And one thing that I like is I like that the wheels on a full size are just a hair outside of the actual slider itself. And that way when you get up against something, you get to your wheel, it starts climbing, it's not trying to rock sideways and trying to pivot on these. So that's kind of the way I want to do it. And so I'll probably take these off and start over, and I'll integrate those into kind of the bed and how it's all set up. That's kind of the vision that I have right now. And guys, this is one of those things, if you have a full-size truck or even any wheeling rig, when you take the bed off and you start working on it, sometimes you just got to step back. Ryan knows this well. Sometimes you just got to step back. You got to take a look at it and say, you know what? I thought in my head I wanted to do this, but that's not what I need to do. I need to do X, Y, Z. So we're going to pull the bed off and kind of see what it looks like, and I'm going to do some drawing, kind of get an idea of what I think I want. And then the next part of that, which Ryan knows well, is cutting stuff and putting it up there and trying to see what it looks like, because sometimes in your head it looks really good and you're like, man, that's the way to do it. And then you put it up on the truck and you're like, wow, that does not look good at all. So you do that about 60 times, no less. I swear to God, you do it 60 times. Yeah, and by the time you get done with something like this, you're sick of it and you're about ready to go drive it off a cliff anyways. But the great thing is, which Ryan is almost there on his crew cab over there in the corner, is once you get it out there and all those long nights and this hard work that he's putting in, it pays off, and when it wheels its ass off, it's gonna be awesome and he's gonna be smiling ear to ear. So luckily Dave's put in a ton of work on this thing already, so we're pretty close. Another thing I'm gonna do, which this bumper is obviously a pre-made bumper that kind of is made for these trucks. And it's not the most heavy duty, and you can kind of see whenever you're nosing down into stuff, the light dutiness of this, it causes it to push up into the light and push up into these fender flares, which, you know, Ryan obviously did a great job. He didn't tear it up, which I'm glad, but he did wheel it, and you guys will see in the video, he did a great job, and this thing killed it. The only time it had any issues was in the sand, which this truck is not made for the sand. These tires are not made for the sand, and it's super heavy in the front, so it does great wheeling. It's not a sand vehicle. So my goal is take this bumper off. I'm gonna leave the winch where it is. I like the placement of the winch and where it's at. I like how he used a winch plate to tie it into the frame, so that's another cross member up front. But I'm gonna take off this whole bumper and I'm gonna redesign it so it's more tucked in to the truck and it's higher up. And also I wanna protect the frame rails, so like whenever you go up against something, it kind of makes it pop up instead of digging into it, which you can see it's been getting quite a bit of that from this skid plate here. So yeah, it's had some love. You guys can tell it's definitely not been sitting here not wheeling. And that's the thing about it. When I bought it from Dave, I told him, this isn't gonna be something I just drive around and never take wheeling. Like, you're gonna see it on full-size Invasion, which we've already done that. Ryan took it, he had a good time, he enjoyed it the whole week. I think he did. He loved everything about it, that I'm pretty sure.
Good shakedown for it too.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, guys. The reason I did this and wanted Ryan to take it, even if his truck wasn't done, was to be able to kind of get a baseline of where this thing is at. Now, you can watch videos all day long. Dave had a great series on UA M23 when they went to West Virginia, and it was awesome. It did great. But wheeling in West Virginia and wheeling in Utah is two different things. You got a lot of tight trees, mud, you know, wheel speed out in West Virginia. Out here, Utah, you need, you know, the grip. You need it to really, you know, use the wheelbase to get on certain rocks to get where you need to be. So this gives us an all around. We got that East Coast wheeling and the West Coast wheeling down. We're gonna make some changes and we're gonna take it back out. So I'm not gonna be able to do this really, really fast. So this is kind of a beginning stage deal, but I'm kind of giving you an overview of what we're gonna do, guys. Hopefully you guys like it, and I hope Dave likes it. We'll see what we change and see how long it takes, so just stay tuned. Here's the moment of truth. I don't know, me and Ryan took about 10 minutes maybe. I would say that's being very fair to get everything undone. You gotta love pickup beds. Won't ever be that easy again. You know what the bonus part about this is, Ryan? The vent problem that it's having with the tank, it's gonna be so easy to change. Here we go. Holy crap. Oh, looks like we got a vent still hooked, so I need to cut that real quick. Let's see. Vent line for something. Oh, for the axle tube.
You don't need to worry about that.
I could have ripped it off, I
Test the
guess.
tensile strength of that rubber.
Yeah. Oh, it's inside the cab, or the bed. See if I can ride the lightning up here. Now I just gotta figure. Yeah, that's what I was looking at. Boy, that toolbox ain't very watertight. Nope, it just goes up right here to that. Okay. And that's her. Brand new fuel filter. Okay, other than that, let's see, we got, looks like a trailer plug. And There it is. Man, look at that. I still cannot believe that this truck is from Washington. Look at, it's not rusty at all. Guys, look at these braces that Dave put on here. I mean, this is legit. He boxed this all in. This is 3/16, and then up here in the front, look at. All right, so that was technical difficulties. That's called GoPro batteries. If you guys know, you know. Anyways, we're back at it, and I was just talking about how beefy these mounts are that Dave made. This is 3/16 for the trailing arms, 3/16 for the coilovers. I mean, it is all beef. And then with the 3-link, you got some 2x6 tubing. I mean, he beefed it up pretty good. Look at that, that is awesome. But anyways, we're getting ready to pull this thing out. We're gonna give her some love, good power washing, and start to get a game plan. So let's see what happens. Okay. Feels like the first time.
Yeah, right. Here we go again.
right, guys, so we're back in the shop working on Louis Viten. It's going good. This is kind of one of the parts that I really like about project is you're able to sit here, sit back, and look it over. And one of the things that I'm just not really excited about on these '08 through 2010 pickup trucks is how low slung the frame rails are. You can see I've already taken off the bumper, and I actually cut the bracket for the winch off because I don't like how low it was. Whenever you're going on an approach angle at an obstacle and you're wheeling, sometimes that approach angle, even if it's just 2 inches, is quite a bit. So I had to make the decision to go up with it, and so the thing that I want to do, I think what I'm planning on doing, is taking this piece, cutting it completely off right here, and I'm thinking about running a piece of this heavy-duty 2x2 quarter wall tubing from here back into the frame, and then chopping the frame off about right here all the way back to here. And the reason I'm wanting to do that is just to make the approach angle better. And also, guys, I want to try to clean up the front of this where everything's not hanging so low. So I've already moved it about 2 inches up. I've got the jack stands there where they're already 2 inches up. I need to trim out a little bit of the grill right here so I can move it up. But my goal is to leave the Ford sign on there. As much as you guys know, I'm not nearly as much of a Ford fan as I am a Chevy guy. I'm going to try to get that where that warn sign is all the way up against that. So the hood is all the way down right now, and I'm going to bring it up. So sometimes you just got to sit back, guys, and you got to stare at it and kind of make a decision, not super fast, just take your time. So that's what I'm doing. I'm kind of looking at everything, kind of trying to envision in my mind how this bumper is going to turn out. I know I'm probably going to use some of this tubing to sit up here and kind of complement the underside of the bumper, something like this. So whenever I get up against an obstacle, this, quarter wall good stuff is not going to bend. And I like that in a bumper, and it'll probably come over here and tie in somehow. And then I also got to figure out how much right here sticks out on the winch, because I want it to be clean and look decent. So I'm trying to think if I should maybe cut here, kind of angle it back, and make this the very front of it, or do I just chop this off down here, this lip, and put some 2-inch tubing over this way, kind of angle it to match the profile of the bumper. I kind of like to use the profile of the bumper to kind of go with the body line of the truck. I like the way that looks. I think whenever you just throw a winch bumper on here that's straight and has lines like this, yeah, it works. But I also think it doesn't have much pizzazz or personal taste in it. And so you guys know I can't leave anything alone. So I'm going to work on that. I think the first thing I'm going to do is try to get this winch mounted where it's at the height that I want it to be at. And then I can go in later and trim from here to here if I need to kind of make that work. I don't absolutely need it to be sticking out here like a sore thumb on this corner. Like I said, guys, I'm going for functionality here, so I'm hoping whenever I do this, this thing will have a better approach angle. These won't be sticking down on the ground and touching stuff. Really the only thing I need to overcome is the tranny cooler lines, which are right there. So once I get that done, kind of get that figured out, I think I'll have a good idea where I'm at. But I'm going to start by cleaning some of this up. And I need to cut this grill out and then put some tubing, tack it in at least, and see where it's going to sit. So got a little bit of work to do, guys, but like I told you yesterday, working on this is you kind of have to make things go, kind of tack a few things on here and go slow and make it how you want it as you go. Don't get in a super big hurry, which I don't daily drive this all the time, guys, so I'm not in a huge big hurry. I can take my time and make it look good and make it my own. So we're just improving on Dave's design. We'll get Louis Viten back in action here soon. Let's go. Okay, I sat here long enough and I finally got a plan. Took me a minute to get it all figured out, but here's what I'm going to do to kind of fix this situation of how low this frame goes. I just don't like how low it goes, so I've raised the winch up to where I got these cut out so it fits up against it. It's up against the bottom of the forward sign on the grill, and then got it cut out there as well. Guys, this is all just kind of mock-up for now, but you can kind of see over here on this side where I'm going to cut it. So I'm going to take a torch and I'm going to cut it straight back here, cut this bracket, and then I'm going to cut the frame this way across, and then on the other side. So it's going to, this piece right here, all going to be gone off the truck. So that low point's gone, and then I will take a piece of 1/2-inch plate and I will run it from both sides on the bottom. So it'll have, you know, it'll be nice and rigid, and then I'm going to run a piece of plate that's 1/2 inch going up and across, and then I will run 2-inch from that piece of plate to the front of the bumper. So I don't know, still haven't decided yet whether I'm going to angle that. I can kind of cut that to angle it in to kind of lose some of that for the bracket. So I can either cut that and angle it to fit up against on the bottom here, which I still have some trimming to do, but that'll kind of be how I think it's going to go. And that'll take this edge where this bracket right here is off, so it's tighter to the truck, because I do plan on running possibly a piece of tubing like this. It's hard to kind of see, guys, but the vision that I'm having, it's going to look exactly like this. I want it to be kind of tucked up to the top of the bottom of the light, bottom of the grill, and going across there. But I haven't got that far yet. I just need to get these bottom pieces cut. This is how you do it, process of elimination. You just kind of have to get in there and make it work. So I need to move some of these transmission lines away from the frame so I don't cut them in half with the torch, and clean that up, and we'll get back to work here. So. Okay guys, so I'm super excited, stoked about how the sliders came out on the truck. I really like the way that they're set up. I like the profile. I think it looks really good with the bumper. I feel like it all flows good. Hope you guys are enjoying the content. It's really going good. You know, Louis Viten is definitely a truck that I have watched be built by Dave for a long time, and it's pretty cool to get to kind of finish off some of the touches of it and make it just a little bit better and spend some time on it. I'm really liking the profile of the sliders. I think they turned out really good, and it gives me fuel to start getting ideas flowing for the bed. So that's another good thing about starting at the front, going to the back of the truck as you kind of get the flow down, which I'm super happy about and the way it turned out. I think got some of the welds going good, got them all cleaned up, kind of see that. And then if you look underneath here, you can kind of see the profile of what I'm going for. I'm going for, you know, a high profile where it's not going to hang up on stuff. So I think that turned out pretty good. Kind of see how it all ties in there from the side over to this side to the rock slider. So that is going to be plenty stout, and it's going to be just as good as what we had. You know, up here you can see where it was tied in before, and then where it goes over to the slider. So hope you guys are liking it. I know it's a really good setup. I know it's going to be great off-road, and I appreciate you guys watching. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, the like button, and comment down and tell me what's going on. You like it? If you don't like it, I'd love to hear it all. This is Caleb's Off-Road and Fabrication. If you guys are into building cool rigs, having a good time and wheeling, stick around.